I'm here to talk about almost when living for God falls short. And there's one biblical story that really kind of anchors the premise of the book. It's the story of the rich young ruler. We hear in Mark where basically you have a young man where he's rich, he's young, he's ruling, he's winning. But despite all of that, when he encounters Jesus, he runs to him and he falls before him because there's a void. And he goes to Jesus and he asks, hey, what do I need to do to really get saved? And the Lord responds to him and he says, hey, make sure that you're, not committing adultery. Make sure that you're not stealing. He walks him through just different commandments. And the young man responds with this. He says, all of these things that I've kept since I was a young man, which is really an interesting point. Because here we have a young man that feels a void despite the fact that he was actually following all the rules, despite the fact that he was following all the commandments. And we see here in Mark, and I really love that rendition of it there, where we see that Jesus looks at him and he loves him. He tells him there's one thing that he's missing. He invites him to sell everything that he has, to give it to the poor, and then most importantly, to come and follow him. And at that point, we see a young man that did not stumble over these commands, did not stumble over the rules, but he stumbled over the opportunity to go and be with Jesus. And despite falling down before the Lord and seeking after the Lord, here we find that he's no longer with him. He walks away. And it's the premise of this book. When living for God falls short. The premise of this book is really growing beyond a life where I'm just simply living for God and walking into an opportunity of a purposeful life when I'm living with him. I hope you enjoy it.